Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. We have been seeing the Amar Chitrakada Bhagavat. In that, we are seeing all the Krishna Leelas. The very first story is Krishna, the darling of Gokul. So, whatever Leelas which Krishna did in Gokulam. So, we have seen many Leelas. Today it is another day. All the maids are busy. So, Yasoda is thinking, I must have some fresh butter made for my Krishna. I am going to churn it myself. So she wants to do it. She does not want to give the churning to any of the maids. So she started very early in the morning. They used to say Chitran Chirukale, early morning. She was busy singing and working and churning. Krishna heard his mother singing melodiously and climbed into her lap. And Yasoda suddenly got engrossed in the childish prattle of Krishna, and suddenly she heard the milk boiling in the stove. So she has to drop Krishna on the floor from her lap and rush towards the stove. Krishna did not like this at all. He got angry. He immediately broke the churning pot in anger. With tears in his eyes and a container of butter in his hand, he marched off. He went to a safe corner to eat the stolen butter in peace. When Yasoda came back, wow, what happened? She was looking whatever she had left. The pot is broken. It must be Krishna. Just let me get hold of him. But by now, Krishna's hunger and anger had both gone. She found him standing on an upturned mortar, happily sharing the butter with monkeys outside. As soon as he saw Yasoda, Krishna pretended to have fear. He ran away with his friends. He's telling his friends, come on, run. He has a stick in her hand. Come on. Yasoda was quite out of breath chasing these guys. And somehow she managed to catch hold of Krishna. Or what would we say? Krishna took pity on her and caught himself. So Yasoda was telling Krishna, today I must punish you. You are becoming naughtier every day. She dragged him back home. I will bind you up to the same mortar. Here is some rope. Now at least I will know where you are. You can't get out from here. So she is trying to tie him around the mortar. So every time she is using the rope to tie him around the mortar, the rope is short by just 2 fingers, like just 2 inches. He could not understand. She tried to get another rope, a longer rope, tried to tie 2 ropes together. Again, it is short by those 2 fingers. She was puzzled. She got so tired. Suddenly, Krishna called Yasoda, Amma, look at this. I am able to tie these knots together. So suddenly she came rushing and managed to tie him up firmly with the mortar. Stay here till I decide to free you. Okay? Yasoda told Krishna. But she was mistaken. As soon as her back was turned, Krishna was thinking, what should I do now? I need to find someone to untie me. I need to do something. Slowly she started dragging the heavy mortar with him. He trudged on towards the bank of that river outside. On his way, where there are 2 large trees, they are the Yamalarjuna trees. So Krishna managed to go in between those trees, but the mortar got stuck. When Krishna tugged at the rope to pull himself free, both the trees were uprooted and came crashing to the ground. Huge trees came crashing to the ground. There was a loud noise. So Shukadeva is narrating this story to Parikshit. He paused here for a minute. Here he is trying to explain Parikshit the divinity of Krishna. When the two trees fell down, out of those two fallen trees sprang two shining divine beings, celestial beings. They folded their hands before Krishna. They were in fact none other than Nalakubera and Manigriva, who had been under a curse by Narada and were now released because of this act of Krishna. They were sons of Indra. So they had a curse that they would be born in Gokula as trees, and the Lord himself will come in between and release them. So that's what has actually happened. So the story continues. There was a loud noise. The loud crush brought people running to the scene. All the Gopalas around, they all came running. What was that? Was there a lightning? What? There is no thunder. What's going on here? So when they reached a spot, they said, how did these trees fall? What is Krishna doing here? The odd things are always happening when this boy is around, man. And some of the boys who were there, they told these Gopalas, no. It was Krishna who made these trees fall. We saw him doing it. And there were two shining beings who came out of that. So all the elders felt, don't listen to these children's talk. I think these children are imagining things. It is just their imagination. So very soon Vasudeva came and untied the rope binding Krishna. But such punishments did not deter the little Krishna from his mischievous ways. He would always be out of the house singing and dancing to amuse the Gopikas. So the Gopikas always are fascinated by that. They always used to say, all my housework is still to be done, but this boy is such a fun to watch. So they keep watching all his naughty things which he does. So hiding people's things was another favorite prank of Krishna. But whatever prank he did, the people of Gokul would never fail to be enchanted at the sight of his beautiful face. One day, there was a fruit lady, a fruit vendor selling fruit. Fresh fruits, fresh fruits. Krishna heard it inside. All the children came from inside. From everyone's house, they all brought a grain, a fistful of grain, and they give it to the lady and they get fruits. That is the barter system, right? They give grains and they get in exchange fruits from the lady. Krishna also wanted to get a fistful of grains in exchange for the fruit. But by the time Krishna came from inside carrying the grain, all the grain had fallen through his hand. Through his tiny fingers, they all had fallen all the way from backyard to the front door. All he had was too little grain. So he was wondering, where all did it go when it reached the fruit vendor? But the fruit vendor said, never mind. That lady, the fruit vendor is a lady, never mind. Here, hold this properly. She gave her fistful of fruits. As Krishna ran away happily with the fruits inside, she turned back and looked at the basket where he put those two grains. What is this? My basket is full of gems. What a miracle! It is filled with gems. She could not believe what she saw. So the days goes by like this. Every day there is some kind of a prank Krishna does, or some kind of a leela Krishna does. The older he grew, the more time Krishna spent on the riverbank, frolicking with his friends. Then at the end of the day, the mother has to bring them back home. Hey Krishna, hey Balarama, come home. You have not eaten since morning. You have been playing outside all day long. But when they come back, they will be all over mud on their face. She could hardly recognize Krishna or Balarama. Hey, I can hardly recognize you under all that mud. Go and have a bath and come back. See how your friends are so clean looking. Huh? Have a bath and come for food. While Yasoda was busy trying to control Krishna's little pranks, Nanda and his advisors were discussing a more serious matter. Upananda, an elderly person in Gokula, was talking about the calamities that's happening in Gokula. Upananda was telling, such calamities have begun to happen in our quiet Gokul. I feel it is time we should leave this place for the welfare of our young ones. See that little darling of Nanda, what miraculous escapes he has had so far. First it was Bhutana, then the cart falling on him, the Sagadasura, then the Trinavarda, and those two beings dashing down when the trees fell down. Thank God, no one was injured. Then the other guy was telling, yeah, we have been protected by God's mercy so far. But before anything else happens, let us all go away from Gokul. There is a wonderful place called Vrindavana. It has lush grass fields, plenty of fruit trees, and foliage. It will be ideal for cattle. Nanda agreed. We will leave for Vrindavana as soon as we can. Tell everyone to be prepared to leave today. So everyone was informed. After collecting their cattle, the people of Gokul loaded their carts with their belongings. The women, the children, and the aged, they all rode on the chariots and carts with their bow and arrow in hand. The young men walked beside them with a song on their lips and hope in their hearts. The people of Gokul set out in search of a new home. So the first story, the darling of Gokul, ends here. We will see the next one from Vrindavan. Narayana.